Taking a quick look at this Bluetti AC50B. So this is finally, finally we get a replacement for the AC50S, which was one of my favorite power stations for the longest time because it's the perfect size, isn't it? So you can take it with you in, you can take it with you in the woods. Hey, you can take it with you in the forest, and you know, you might want to bring like a solar panel too with you, by the way, but yeah, you're going to be able to do everything you want. So let's kind of go over the specs here because they are, you know, it's everything that you want in a new power station. This thing's got it, which is no surprise. I mean, this is Bluetti. All their models have all the top specs. So it's just that this one, yeah, right here, this is the main draw of this unit. Evidently, it's lighter than your cat. So, by the way, that's a big cat. I mean, that cat's got to weigh like at least 16 pounds or so, right? To be, you know. So yeah, let's kind of go over. This is just the overview of the specs. I guess we can go over this real quick. We'll talk about all the specs more in depth as we go through the video. Yeah, so kind of the main thing you want to know that actually they don't have on here. Yes, it's LFP battery, but you know, how big is it? It's 448 watt hours. So that's, you know, that's where the 50 name comes from. It's close to 500 watt hours basically. It is a little bit less than that old AC50S, but all the other specs are you know, all the other specs are way better. And you know, including, well, especially the charging here, 580 watts you can pump into this thing. Now, of course, that is going to be on the turbocharge mode, which you have to actually use the app to activate that. And, you know, we'll talk about the solar here in a little bit. And, you know, powerlifting mode. This is the thing they always like to advertise this because it's not, you know, it's not a real accurate number. The actual inverter, yeah, it's only 700 watts, which actually, that's still a good size inverter. You can still power a lot of stuff with that. But yeah, if you want to do cooking, if you want to heat up stuff, you want to heat up some water, you know, maybe a hot plate, a lot of these appliances are like right around 1,000 watts. So, you know, obviously a 700 watt inverter would not be able to power these under normal circumstances. But with this powerlifting mode, it will power it. And this thing does have Bluetti's new Bluetopus AI algorithm BMS. This is the battery monitor system. So basically, you're not going to be able to do anything bad to the battery. You know, even if you don't know what you're doing, if you're not familiar with these power stations, this BMS, it'll always protect it. And yes, you know, there's the app. You don't have to use this, but it will allow you to kind of customize some of the extra settings. You know, it's not necessary, but again, as we mentioned, if you want to be able to charge this thing up as fast as possible, you will have to go in the app to change that setting. And then low noise. So all these power stations, they're making the fans quieter on them because everybody was annoyed by that. But the thing is, I would say 50 decibels is, I guess that's where they're putting it, right there, 50 decibels. 50 decibels is not quiet. That will still annoy you. And this thing does get the 20 milliseconds UPS. So this is not the best spec in the class. It should work. You know, if you want to use this thing as a UPS, like if you got a bad storm coming, yeah, you want to plug in your Wi-Fi router, maybe your computer. Anyways, let's get to the solar. Let's get to it. You're probably like, when's he going to get to the solar? Guess what? We're getting to it right now. 200 watts. The problem is it's only up to 28 volts. 28. So it's just, you know, your typical standard solar panel. Actually, just about any standard solar panel will work, especially the portable ones. They're almost always below 28 volts, open circuit voltage, VOC, if you want to check the spec. Now, if you want to do a lot more solar, 500 watts and a higher voltage input, yeah, you want to go for the AC70. This is actually an awesome product because it's really not that much bigger. In fact, you know what, let's do a comparison here. Here it is. It's not that much bigger than the AC50B, but it's, yeah, the solar input is more than double. It's a lot better. And then the AC70 does have 100 watt USB-C. Actually, it's got two of them. It's got two of them. And that's kind of that might be a bit of a bummer for you if you are considering AC50B, because they're just 65 watts, which is weird. That's actually really weird, because actually the smaller AC2A, in fact, has 100 watt USB-C. So really, yeah, that's, in fact, you might be curious too, well, how does this AC50B compare to that one as well, size-wise? Well, as you see, that picture was kind of funny, so I couldn't do a comparison with that, but this little graphic does show it. This shows, in fact, this shows it next to the EB3A too. Can you survive off-grid with just this little AC50B? You know, I'm pretty sure you can, but you're gonna have to find the right stuff, aren't you? This is, a lot of people, they don't like when I talk about this. You know what I mean? Like, they want to be able to power, here's the thing, they want to be able to power their 240 volt washer dryer at home. Right? They want to be able to power their 3-ton air conditioner at home. It's like, you know what I would say? I would say, honestly, try getting out of your house. You know what I mean? Like, try getting out of your house for a while and going and doing something like this. You know? You don't, guess what? You'll find out real quick. You'll find out real quick that you don't need that stuff. You know what I mean? You bring, I don't know, you bring your AC50B, you bring your camera. Hey, you bring your camera, your drone. You're probably going to want to bring, as I mentioned, like, yeah, something to cook with. How about a 12-volt refrigerator? You can power that with this thing. You might you might want to bring a tent too, by the way. But yeah, you'll quickly realize all that stuff you have at your house, you don't really need that. You probably find, honestly, you'd probably be happier out here.